All right, everyone. We're going to be I'm going to need to send every single one of you off to a mission. Are you ready to go?
Kill yourself.
I got my.
Yeah, Maverick, where are you going? Well, no, I'm going to go send you to go rescue a small kitten out of a tree. Are you ready to do it?
I'll fucking do it, I guess. Asshole.
And Jackson, I need you to stop a supervillain that is lighting an entire town on fire. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm wet all the time. I throw up.
And wow, you're also Lanky Kong.
I'm also Lanky Kong, and I throw up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dispatch Discast, where we're talking everything Dispatch. This is a full spoiler cast. We're going to be covering every single thing that happens in Dispatch in exhaustive detail. If you want to play this game, how much is Dispatch? I have to go to the store page. It is $30. A generous $30, $40 for the deluxe edition. You can get the deluxe edition and the soundtrack themselves for $18.88, but that doesn't include the game.
Doesn't include the game. It includes
doesn't include the game.
The comics that give context between episodes and before episodes.
There are comics? I didn't even read the comics.
Yes, there are comic books that explain a lot of stuff, like how Punch Up and Coop met and are so well versed.
Yeah. I was taking a brief glance at the Wikipedia page before this, just to brush up on broad details, and I'm looking at the character stuff, and it's Alana Pierce plays Malevola Gibb, who's a broadsword wielding demoness and is also Sonar's Narcotics Anonymous sponsor. It's when did that come up in the game? What do you mean?
They brief on it a little bit. You had to read the comics.
You had to read the comics. You had to read the comics as the thing.
You have to read the source material to understand.
Gatekeeping video games based on the comics is really but yeah. Let's just briefly go over. I'm Scott, by the way. We have Jackson and Maverick here as well. Let's just briefly go over, how did we feel about the video game, all 8 episodes of the video game Dispatch?
The game is good. It's not perfect. It's a fun experience, and if you're a comic book freak like me, you kind of understand a lot of the things they're going for, and some of the things that they try to go for that just don't hit right.
Right.
Because for context for the game is written by the same head writer who wrote the Batman Telltale games. So there's that trend of building up and then kind of falling a little bit.
Right. And it's obviously of that oeuvre of that by a lot of the same people who worked on a lot of those Telltale games.
Well, yeah, but also the head writer was the one that did the Batman games, and then the supporting writers are people who worked on the Polly Pocket children's show. So I don't know. Take that with what you will.
But yeah, AdHoc Studio was formed mostly by ex-Telltale people, and it's very obvious when it's very obvious where that lineage comes from when it comes to this game. Maverick, how did you feel about Dispatch?
That was pretty good. I mean, have struggled with actually having any time for any kind of gaming this year, as evidenced by this being one of the few games-related Gamesline things I have been a part of this year.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There is an aspect of it where I'm sort of it's very surface level in terms of engaging with superhero material, but it's not trying, but it is still a complicated. It is still a game with complicated writing in the sense that it's not difficult to understand, but there's very thoughtful. There are very thoughtful details over a ton of different aspects of this game. It's this thing where my major thing with it is there is a satirical aspect to like the sort of like dispatch idea. You know what I mean? There is a like vaguely pointed at satirical aspect of you're a guy dispatching superheroes for what's basically like a superhero insurance company. But what does that mean for like the overall state of policing in this world? Why is it that the like supervillains are just unanimously evil? Why is there this sort of clean cut division between supervillain and superhero, which is something the game does reckon with because you are dealing with the Z team. A bunch of you are playing as an ex-hero who is getting a second chance at being able to work in the hero field by being the guy that is taking over the team of converted supervillains to superheroes, the Z team. And it does play with this idea that, like, you know, you're not there is like, for some reason there is this clear-cut division between supervillain and superhero, but that doesn't define you as a person. It's strange in that regard, because I think it's very I don't want to say like childish. I don't want to say that, but it's like it's very simple in those terms, but like the way it handles human relationships is very very thoughtfully considered. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It can be childish and silly, but like at the end of the day, like, it's comic book writing.
Yeah, that's superhero stuff.
Yeah, like, it's superhero stuff. Is like, it's made for like a younger audience and whatnot, and it's kind of like evolved.
I wouldn't say this is made for a younger audience.
No, this is definitely made for an adult audience, but like comic books initially were for like younger like readers and stuff, to kind of introduce them to weirder themes or whatever, and then as like comic books kind of aged with society, like, they adapted and changed their narratives and how they handle certain themings. And it's like this game went in under like, because you're playing as Robert and you're trying to help these group of former villains in the Phoenix program like kind of redeem themselves and like rehabilitate them into society by giving them these jobs.
The implication being that some of them, their inclusion in that team is like not 100% voluntary too.
No, like, some of it is like, hey, you could either serve jail time or you need to work on the Z team in order to stay out of jail.
Right.
Which, like, I think that's for like Coop and Flambe and stuff, because Coop, being the person who has killed the most people on the team, is like, I'd rather be here than be in prison, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
It's like, the writing may seem childish at times, but like, people seem to forget that like, it is comic book writing. You're playing as Robert Robertson, horrible name, but you're in the scheme of like, this is a comic story. You're a legacy character, and legacy characters in comic stories are usually the most like respected and well-regarded person in the story, because it's like you are continuing this long history of doing good and helping out society. So like, you specifically as Robert are tasked to rehabilitate these people because you are the legacy. Like, you've been doing this for so long that these people trust you to the point of like, yeah, you can handle these like 6 criminals. You can do whatever the fuck you want. We trust you.
And to that same regard, there is this overall feeling of just sort of dropping you into a world. Like, you can sort of imagine like a real world run of Mecha Man comics, and where in the 2020s version of it, where it's like, well, we've already like had 2 other heroes before this, and it's like we're dealing with the third one who's depressed, you know what I mean? Like, it's already had all of these different iterations on it. And there's larger, broader aspects of that feel very either lightly touched or either just brushed up on enough just to sort of give you a sense of what's going on between these characters without explicitly spelling it out. Because Robert Robertson did not have a great relationship with his late father, who he became Mecha Man ostensibly to avenge. so the big thing with Robert is what is his life if he's not Mecha Man? That's that's one of the like overarching themes of the story. Is as soon as he loses the suit, as soon as he loses the big mech suit that defines what Mecha Man is, he needs to reckon with the fact that he's not exactly a superhero anymore. Like the first thing that happens after he loses the suit is he has to go and have a press conference to talk about whether or not he's going to be a superhero anymore. And he's like, he's one of the most respected superheroes in Los Angeles. So it's like, it's important for it. It's funny because it's like they're doing a good job of like preserving his identity while still also making him be a public figure, even though his entire thing has just been he became Mecha Man to avenge his father, and as a result learned what being a superhero is, and that's defined him as a person, and now he doesn't have that same definition anymore. So he's moving on to sort of teach people who haven't had that same direction. And there's an interesting interplay there, because he can say he did all this because he's trying to avenge his father all he wants, but that really doesn't come through with how he carries himself as a person,
Yeah, it's very odd because the way that I initially played those like first 2 episodes, where it's just like the game opening up with, hey, do you want to kill this guy or let him back in the apartment? Where I'm like, oh god, okay, this is like immediately I need to define who I'm playing Robert as, and I'm just like, okay, he's looking for a villain.
A classic Telltale staple, if there was one, giving you a really tough decision without any information whatsoever.
It's just like, okay, how are you going to play this? Like, we're not going to give you any context. Do you want to kill a guy straight off? Or do you want to play the superhero game as a superhero?
Right.
Or like this weird anti-hero. And it's just, yeah, the Telltale-isms are bleeding in, but I feel like it's a good introduction to how they want you to play Robert. Because like with most Telltale games, there is like a preferred way they want you to go down the route of your character, and then there's like the additional sprinkle of like, oh, you can be good for a little bit, but then in this episode you can act like a fucking asshole and it won't have any implications whatsoever. It's just like your character's had a bad day and you can roleplay having a bad fucking day. Who cares?
Sort of jumping ahead in the story, I remember there's a point specifically where you can reveal to your entire team that you are Mecha Man, or you can just say you're Robert when they ask who you are. And it's like, I remember sitting on that for a while, and I'm like, I'm fucking Robert, dude. Like, I like whether or not I'm Mecha Man doesn't define me as a person anymore. I've gone through so many significant changes, like in the small amount of time that I like have not been Mecha Man, that I'm like, yeah, no, this is not a declaration of, or this is not me trying to subvert the fact that I am this person and hiding it from my team. This is me making a declarative statement of saying, yeah, no, this is who I am. It's like in that moment of like light role playing, it is this like, it's like an affirming moment for him. And that's something that's like, hold on, let me see if I can find what I believe that's like episode 5. Let me go ahead and see. You and 18% of players told the Z team that you were just Robert.
That's interesting because
I guess that's not something other people saw in that moment.
Well, like,
largely.
Before I go, like, Maverick, what choice did you make? Did you say you were Robert, or did you tell the team you were Mecha Man?
Oh, I told him I'm Mecha Man because, like, bro wants to be back in that robot.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. But
in that moment, what I felt was more important was like, hey, this version of me has direct beef with someone who is looking at me for guidance. I got to be able to spill the beans on that if I want any sort of next step to actually like happen for team cohesion. That's what I was looking at it, where it's like, this needs to be said now. Otherwise, it's either going to stay a secret or once I get the suit up and running, a whole other can of worms because I just kept it in the dark for that long.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you. After you tell them that you're Robert, he gives quite a great speech about what being Robert means to him, and they get very cohesive as a team after that.
I mean, that's fair, but like the choice of being like, "Hey, I'm Mecha Man," I saw it more as like, I need to have these people trust me, and
exactly,
me constantly lying and saying like I'm not a hero, I'm not this, da da da, I'm just some dude, instead of like taking my lumps with Flambe, like because we fucked that guy up. Regardless of what choice you make in the bar in the first episode, that guy gets fucked up. It's either he loses a tooth or loses his eyebrows.
Right. I poured water on him. I thought I saw the oil choice and was like, this is far too cruel. This is such an evil thing to do to someone in the first episode of this video game.
Setting them on fire, yeah.
But throwing water at them, that just seems funny. Throwing water at the fire guy. And then he loses his teeth.
Yeah, he loses a tooth, but like it's interesting because if you go like, yeah, I'm Mecha Man, he loses his shit. Mm-hmm. He tries to kill you immediately.
That's
crazy. Golem steps in front of you and protects you. And everybody else steps up and tries to protect you. And Flambe's like, fuck you guys. And the next day, he calls out. He doesn't show up.
That's crazy.
He's just not on the team anymore.
Because there's a part later where like pretty much everyone learns that you're Mecha Man, and Flambe is just like, all right, brother. All right, man. That's fine. I already respect you. So I think it's like in episode 8 at that point. Like, because they do... Okay. So if you hide the fact that you're Mecha Man, they have a team conference where someone just fucking spills the beans about it anyways, just completely on accident. Flambe isn't in the room at the time, or he wasn't listening. I don't remember. And then there's the house party, and at the house party, everyone knows that you're Mecha Man. Flambe arrives late to the house party.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't find out until episode 8 when you come back as Mecha Man, and he's like, I guess you're on our side. Like, we got bigger things to worry about. And he's just so cool with it.
It makes sense in the context of that because it's just like in a crisis, he's like, I can't deal with this right now.
Right.
Like, I don't want to fucking deal with this right now. I'll beat the shit out of you after.
But by the end of the game, he's not even mad at Robert. Like, they're just bros. Like, he's still like on the team and they're still homies. It's so funny.
Crazy.
It's so odd. I don't know. A lot of these, I do respect the writing in this game because a lot of the choices, regardless of what you make, and like having this discussion right now, it seems like they found a way to bridge things to make sense more coherently, as opposed to other Telltale games where if you make different decisions than say like another friend you're playing alongside the game with, it doesn't make sense how you both reached.
Right.
Like, you both start at point A and you did different things to get to point B, but for some reason, my choices don't make sense to my friend on how we got there. But as opposed to, like,
interesting,
us playing through this and us discussing our decisions, I'm like, okay, they took the time to sit down and be like, this needs to still have a natural progression towards the end of the game. And, it needs to be a variation where it's like, you start at 1 and end at 2, but there's 1A, 1B, 1C. Right. 2A, 2B, 2C, and just make sure it still kind of is coherent at the end without it being confusing. But like, it's still a Telltale game, so what happened to the big bad guy? Why didn't we address the big bad guy for a couple episodes and then he shows up again?
Right. I'll say along that route, like, there's definitely, when it comes to a lot of Telltale games, there's always like the neutral option of just like, I'm gonna say nothing, and it's like the idea of a say nothing route is always inherently interesting, but then all it really is just like seeing where the seams are, you know what I mean? And in this, I don't know if any of you did a do nothing decision for this game. Did you at any point?
At one, it was accidental because I couldn't make up my mind.
Oh.
So it just kind of went through.
Same. I think like I had one where I just like didn't pay attention for a second, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Okay, so I deliberately did nothing for one of them, and it was the episode 3 choice where you're choosing whether or not to cut Coop or Sodar.
Oh my god.
And I deliberately was like, I don't want to cut either of them. Like they're both really useful. Like I don't know what to say. So I did nothing, and it just cuts Sodar. That's just the default option. It was just like, oh, I guess it will. Or I don't know if it's like a randomized thing, whether it just does one or the other. But it's like he makes a strong justification for cutting Sodar one way or the other. He's like, yeah, no, the dude fucked up at the beginning of the episode. Like he got locked in a room because he thought he was gonna have sex, and it's like that's not cool for a dude on your team to do.
Well, like also not even sex. He's like, I thought I was gonna see a titty.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna see a singular boob. And then I got locked up down here.
Mm-hmm. And then as a result, my game was locked into the sonar is your enemy route. And it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if this is a specific thing where it's like, if you don't pick anything, then this is what happens, because obviously the game has to go one way or the other. I don't know if this is like, if I don't pick... What happened when you didn't pick things, like... during your accidental times? Did it just like pick an option? Did it pick like seem like the default thing to say?
It picked something that I wasn't going to pick. Like it just I feel, if I try to remember, I think it's right after the bar fight, and then the next day you go back to work, and you're trying to like talk to Blazer about what happened. And like I was struggling. I'm like, do I be upfront with you, or do I just lie? And the timer ran out and I lied, and I was like, I wouldn't do that. Why'd I lie? So I'm like, maybe it is randomized, because while playing through it seems like a lot of the default choices that they wanted, or like this is the main route that we wrote out for Robert, is like true hero route, where he's very not stuck in his ways, but very hard stuck in the fact that, like, yeah, I'm a legacy hero and I need to uphold this title.
I had a thought and then I completely dropped it.
Yes, dude, yes.
Just like the guy.
That was me. Yeah, that was me doing my silent option. No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it is interesting that for this game, and I guess, you know, obviously not the same obviously not the same game, not the same, this isn't a Telltale game specifically, but it is interesting that, like, they provide the opportunity for a silent option and then make the deliberate choice not to provide it to you. Whereas, like, that was a thing that they had to design around specifically when it came to stuff like The Walking Dead.
I will die on this hill. They did not want to make like a unique superhero IP game at first. They wanted to make an X-Men game. There's so much evidence to back up the fact that they were writing this to be like a pitch to Marvel, to be like, here is a point and click choose your own adventure X-Men game, especially with a lot of the promo art where it's like deliberately homages and straight up like, yeah, we took a comic cover from X-Men and just put our characters on it. And it's like, there's so many characters in this game where like, that character is supposed to be Hank McCoy, this character is supposed to be fucking Cyclops, this character is supposed to be Wolverine, this character is supposed to be Storm, Nightcrawler, like, but also it just might be the fact that I'm after Dispatch that I went through and I was like, this feels like an X-Men game, and I went back and I reread a lot of old like 80s and 90s X-Men comics, and I went, wait a second, a lot of the themings and the choices and the weird character like interactions are very similar to Dispatch, which could just be like, hey, these guys did their research. Like, this makes a lot of sense, and they did a lot of research, because you can also make the argument of like, oh, they could have wanted to make like a Justice League game, because in Justice League, Batman doesn't want anything to do with the team in the beginning. He just wants to continue being a hero and doing things that are important. But like, as he slowly interacts and does more things with his team, he kind of recognizes like, my method is good for one specific area of the world, which is New Jersey, Gotham City. So like, maybe I do need these other people, these other heroes, in order to help the entire world, because me as Batman cannot go to fucking like, I can't go to Egypt and fight like an old god. I'm Batman.
Right.
That's Shazam or Superman shit. Leave me alone.
I did really appreciate the diversity of the heroes that you're working with. It is really interesting seeing like, okay, they have their Superman equivalent in Phenomenon, and they play it so incredibly straight of being like, this guy is so unbelievably inhuman that he does not understand what it means to be human. And that is like, and you see that initially and you think to yourself, okay, is this going to be a like Homelander situation? Is this guy going to be a real problem? And then they make the unique twist of going, oh, he gets depressed because his girlfriend broke up with him. And he becomes such a good character after that. I don't know. Who did you add to your team? Did you add Phenomenon or did you add Waterboy?
Waterboy. I didn't give a fuck about Phenomenon. I was just like,
Phenomenon.
He's too sad for me. He was too sad. And I was like,
awesome.
I can't trust you. I can't trust you out in the field.
See, that's what makes him so fun. Is the fact that he is just a sad guy. Okay. So the interesting things about Phenomenon are, one, he is already a seasoned superhero, so he doesn't level up. He's already max rank. Okay. Two, he has a depressed trait where if a thing goes wrong, if a mission he goes on goes wrong, or I think just any mission goes wrong, he is basically out of action for like an extremely long time, which is really funny. But three, they play his like being a character that is depressed and working out of depression so funny. Like they play it pretty much entirely for comedy, because there are multiple moments where you as Robert have to be like, hey, listen, I know you don't really understand how emotions work and you're sort of like working your way through this, but this is what like being a person is like, you know, these are emotions people have to deal with. And he'll ask you something like, well, if I'm not going to focus on my ex-girlfriend my entire life, what should I do? And it's like, well, you should find a hobby. And then like within the next few episodes, you find out he starts playing Magic the Gathering with other people on the Z team. It's
what
like,
the
that's
fuck?
Awesome. It's so funny.
Who is he playing Magic with on the Z team?
I forgot the specifics. But there is one part. There's one part specifically in episode 7. In episode 7, where they call the meeting to talk about whether or not they want to cut Invisigal. Phenomenon comes up and he's like, I thought we were gonna play Magic tonight, and I'm hoping we still are. And it's like really good stuff. Really good stuff. Like the larger complications about the team could not matter less to him, but also the entire team makes fun of him the whole time because they're assholes. Like, why wouldn't you make fun of like the depressed Superman? But like he doesn't really understand that, so he's just playing along with it the whole time. It's great. It's such fun writing. Every single time he was on screen, I was so happy to see him. And it's a shame because he's like the optional guy, so he doesn't really get as much time as the other characters.
That's so odd, because it's like if you pick Waterboy, it feels like they wanted you to pick Waterboy.
I'm sure it was.
There's so many scenes and interactions with Waterboy, and Waterboy is the character on the team where, I don't know if Phenomenon does this, he will assign himself to a mission.
No, that's his ability. That's Waterboy's ability.
Yeah, like assigning himself to a mission, and you cannot get rid of him, so you have to work around the fact that he's so eager to do this and prove himself. And I don't have the heart to kick, because you can kick him off one mission, but he gets sad if you kick him off once, and he'll go back and do it again. But it's just like, Waterboy's whole arc is, people are making fun of me and they don't think I'm useful, and they're always going to make fun of me. And you as Robert got to be like, yeah, that's kind of what they do. So if you know if they're going to make fun of you all the time, just don't fucking listen to them, man. Like, they're going to doubt you. They're going to make fun of you. just go prove them otherwise because I know you can do it. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's my Robert. Like being like, you can do this. These guys are assholes. They're all assholes, and that's fine. Just do it, man.
That's not fine, though. It's not fine that they're assholes because they're so mean. How can someone be so mean and still be a character that I have to pay attention to?
It is good to know that no matter which one you pick, they are going to be mean to them. Which is funny.
The writing of like Maverick and I have gotten into this off pod many times where it's like people are making complaints about this game that I personally don't understand, but at the same time it's like oh, like you didn't really play the game or you don't really understand what the game's trying to do, because people are like complaining to me like, I don't like this game because these characters are so mean. I don't like these mean ass characters.
That's what's good about it.
These characters are so sexual. There's always a sex joke. I wish they could stop with all of the tee hee ha ha sex. And it's like, no, yeah, that assholes find sex to be funny. They find that to be like,
yeah.
The thing for me is like, oh, yeah, these guys suck. But it's like I would encounter any of them at a bar and be like, all right, cool. We have a hang for a day, and then I don't have to worry about them again.
Mm-hmm.
That's very much the vibe. And it's like, I can't fault anyone for not having the experience of like, you know, encountering a white guy who grew up in Southside Chicago who says words probably shouldn't say. But also, I'm not going to be the one to say, hey, man, let's talk about optics, to the guy who literally had to live and grow up in that.
Right.
Like
the other aspect about it, too. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just saying that, like, I think, like, the way that the characters are written are definitely, like, trying and can be challenging if you're not used to that. Or, you know, I think, like, it's not a cinematic masterpiece. But again, like, the core of these characters is that they are bad people who are able to get along with each other. And you, as Robert, are not necessarily changing them 100% from who they are, but having them be able to be more flexible and show up as they are for new situations.
Right. It's the other aspect of it too is that this is a work situation. They make it very clear this is we are at a business. You should be respecting it like a business. And there's obviously a difference when it comes to superheroes, because superheroes are big personalities. So, like, you know, if you're a hero, you have a little bit more flexibility in how you treat other people, even though you should, you know, the modest ideal of a hero is that you're kind and helpful, even if you are dark and brooding sometimes. And it's like, and you have these group of supervillains turned heroes who are also asshole coworkers of yours. Now, they're not only asshole coworkers, but they are you are their direct report. So, the entire course of the game is like trying to be a mentor to these people and trying to like help them become better as people. And even if it's not totally like, you know, I'm going to help you get rid of the hate in your heart, it's more so like, I'm going to help you learn to be less of a dick when you're at work. Which is honestly quite frankly, a very valid and needed thing when it comes to people who have worked with assholes before.
Truly and honestly, yeah. It feels like a lot of the criticism from this game are one from people who went in expecting this not to be what it actually is. Like they were going in being like, oh, this is like a visual novel. When it's like, no, this is a whole like.
Why can't I date Malevola?
I've saw that gripe too, where people are like, this game sucks. I can't date the demon. I dropped it after episode 3, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it's not that kind of game, which like gets into the bigger issue of like people are expecting more and more out of video games and not understanding that like you need to play them as they are, and you can pull your criticisms from them after you play them. You can't go in being like, if this thing is not this, it's bad.
Right.
Which is frustrating as fuck.
It's the unfortunate curse of being in a post Baldur's Gate 3 world where Baldur's Gate 3, an excellent, amazing game. Love it to death. It has unfortunately set an expectation for all games, even anything like remotely similar to this sort of ilk. And I guess like you can sort of say the same thing about like stuff like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, but I think like Baldur's Gate being the latest contemporary example of it is like, well, why can't we have a fully player sexual cast of Misfits for me to date? It's not the game we're making. You have the dating options. They're there, but you know.
But I don't.
They're not your dating options. They're Robert's.
You're playing as Robert Robertson.
If there were anything I would say, I think like having a more deliberate off ramp, I think could quell some of those. Because like, yeah, I ended up romancing Blonde Blazer, and like that was cool. I definitely do like the character as well. But it's like, you know, if I had the option to just like, I think, do the choices that kept me on like a even setup, and then sort of like have this not like external, like, you know, I don't need the blinking light of you are on the friend group, but like something that made me kind of feel more secure in the fact of like, okay, I'm not trying to romance anybody, but I can just go full throttle on, you know, do my job, keep the Z team cohesive, the like beats that come through later on to like cause friction can still come through, and I can like navigate that as cleanly as I can. But like, because I don't know, I don't dislike the wrinkle of Invisible being very invested in Robert. I think that is still something that like is like worthwhile to see, but to have something that felt more like, I think like for me, the biggest challenges were like, I want to make sure that she feels seen and accounted for, but not to have that be translated into like, you know, I'm going along with your attempts to try and like fuck, and it's like, I mean,
that's interesting. That's actually like what I wanted to ask about in that regard, because I went down the Invisigal route because I found that way more interesting than just like dating Blonde Blazer. You know. Also, I think like creating a story wherein like there's this weird sexual chemistry and this love triangle, and like trying to facilitate that as much as possible makes for a more interesting story. So that was sort of the way I went down. But also, I thought Invisigal was just way more interesting of a character. So it was like, oh, I like, to me, it makes a lot more sense that Robert would fall for Invisigal than Blonde Blazer, who's a character that almost feels like it's sort of like trying to low key manipulate him into the situation that she wants. But like, so that's actually what I wanted to touch on, because there is an overarching, like, your series of decisions will change how this outcome plays out, and it's all focused around Invisigal. Like, if you choose not to support her totally, or you only like support her somewhat, then she will not protect you against Shroud at the end, and she'll actually turn against the team and become like, ostensibly become the next big baddie for whatever season 2 comes out or whatever. Or that's sort of the implication at the very least. But since I romanced her, I basically, every decision I made was along the lines of, yeah, I gotta, you know, we gotta protect Invisigal. It's like there's the moment, there's the conference that they call where they're trying to say they want to cut Invisigal. And the first time I did that, I was like, yeah, you make a lot of really compelling stuff, a lot of compelling arguments, and in my right mind, like, I would 100% be with you here, but also this doesn't feel right. Like, we are so late in this story that like she is a character that is worthy of redemption, and she should be able to get that redemption should she even regardless of my relationship with her, like she should be afforded that leniency. Yeah, we cut Sonar for basically nothing, but also at the same time, like this is a different situation. We've been together longer. We're a fully formed team at this point. Like we have to be able to show leniency because that's what being a hero is about. And I was wondering how that played out for y'all. Like, did you romance Invisigal? Did she like take a bullet for you at the ending, or did she did she turn on the team?
I did the Invisigal route just because, like, in the context of everything that was going on, it was just like, yeah. In the beginning, I kissed Blonde Blazer because fucking.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Me and 54% of other people did.
Yeah, like
I'm shaking your hand right now.
Yeah, like that interaction was awkward because the initial like reason for the interaction was her trying to get us to join fucking SDN or whatever. But
in my head, I was like, I'm a guy having the worst day of his life right now. I'm acting out.
Yeah, you know and also like this big, strong, beautiful woman just flew me to a billboard to hang out with. I know. One-on-one. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, are you like interested in me? Is that why we're here? And then she only reveals actually what's going on after you kiss.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it still sort of seems like she might be. So why not?
Yeah, like it's weird. And then like I do all this stuff with the Invisigal, like going to the movies and whatnot. But when the scene came up of, hey, we need to cut her, and everybody makes their argument, Waterboy makes a very valid argument of like, you can only give somebody so many chances, and you keep giving her chances, and it doesn't seem fair. And I'm like, shit, You're right. You're so right. I can't keep giving her chances because she keeps fucking up. The thing with Granny's, like, Granny almost fucking died because of what she did. She didn't listen to me. And then the whole, like, we can go grab the astral pulse. Let's do it tonight. And I'm like, no, we need to plan this shit because if we just go storming in, something really bad's going to happen. And she just does it fucking anyway and gets suspended or whatever. And then Waterboy saying what he does, I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I have to put the interests of the team over my own interests because if I just keep giving her excuses and chances and she keeps fucking up, it's a detriment to your, like, the whole team's development. Because you guys aren't going to trust me anymore if I just keep giving her leeway. So I was like, yeah, no, we got to cut her. But still in the end, like, she understood why I did it. Like, she makes the argument of like, yeah, no, you're the leader of this team or whatever. Like, you're trying to help these people. And I still freed her when like Roy like ties her up in the lab. And I'm like, here, you know what? Free yourself. Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like we still have a rapport, and I can trust you enough.
It's interesting because it's like the entire, and I do want to hear what happened in your path, Maverick, because that's what I'm most interested in hearing. But it's like, it's interesting because the entire game is trying to set this idea that you shouldn't totally trust her. Like, characters are going out of their way to be like, well, maybe she's double crossing you or whatever. But it's like, that's not been my experience with her the entire time, you know? Like, I've only ever helped her. She's only ever helped me. We've had like a pretty open, like, an honest relationship. And then like I find out, oh no, she's the one who actually destroyed my mech suit. Okay, but she was working for Shroud, and it's like, oh, she's still actually working for Shroud, but it's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean, like, she's not on board with us. Like, what do you mean? Like, I've played Sleeping Dogs. I know what having dual loyalties means. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, the fact that the game tries to build so much of this, like, you shouldn't trust her, but also it's in service of this idea of like, okay, but are you actually going to try and help her get redemption? And that's where it really hits, like, at the very end of it. Maverick, I'm really interested in knowing how that went for you.
Dog, she fucking killed Shroud and then, like, fucked off.
She killed Shroud and fucked off?
Yeah.
Oh, did you get the villainy route?
You got the villain route.
So
that's
like,
crazy.
Again, you know, like doing the speeches, doing everything, be like, hey, I want to support you, I want to motivate you, but then also getting like the scene where everyone's like, hey, we got to cut her. I'm like, no, you're totally right. Like, this can't continue. Playing it with the perspective of somebody who works with young people in the similar way of like, hey, I want to support you and I want to provide this space that is like providing you holistic acceptance. But if you aren't doing your part, then I need to create tangible consequences, not punishment, but just like, if you aren't doing the things that you're supposed to, what sense does it make they should be rewarded for that behavior stuff? And, you know, standing on that mentality of it. And then, yeah, by the end of it, just like I freed her during the last episode. She helped out like 50-50 on whether or not I thought like, oh, you're going to just shoot me in the back of the head, aren't you? I didn't know. And then, yeah. At the end.
This is a small like gameplay question, but like, so I didn't cut her from the team. It sounded like you both cut her.
Yeah.
Did she show up on the last day of work?
No.
Nope.
So she just doesn't.
And
Yeah, she
her,
showed up.
I had her maxed out.
So for all story reasons, like she probably shouldn't have shown up because like, you know, the overarching plot still happens, but she still shows up. She does work, but because you don't cut her, there's a negative morale effect that affects everyone else on the team.
Oh,
and it's like, but because like, even though their stats are lowered a little bit, I still get not only her, but I also got Waterboy in the last section 2. But also I hadn't like, this is level 1 Waterboy.
Yeah.
So
no,
he's basically useless.
You got Dookie ass Waterboy. You did not get.
I got Dookie ass Waterboy.
You didn't get Tsunami Man.
Yeah.
Fucking maxing out Waterboy immediately was my goal, and I'm like, you are becoming Tsunami Man. You are going to be the most charismatic, most intelligent person on this fucking team.
Fuck yes, dude.
No, bro came through. He was like my clinch whenever I needed just like a little extra stat boost.
That's crazy.
But
he was useful for a little bit for me, but it because I only had him in the last section. He was useful for a little bit because what happens is like they're like, oh fuck, we're overwhelmed. I don't know if the same thing happens with Phenomenon, but like, oh fuck, we're overwhelmed. We need more people out there, and then you get a little scene where Robert goes up to Waterboy and he's like, Waterboy, listen. We need some fucking help. And he's like, well, I'm just a janitor. I don't know what to do. It's like, no, you're a hero. You're a hero. And it's like the worst like inspirational speech I've ever seen. But the fact that Waterboy got an inspirational speech at all is enough for him to go out and join the team.
Well, yeah, it's Phenomenon we see eating his edible arrangements.
Yes.
Because again, you know, he got dumped and is like, I will be sending edible arrangements to try and continue to the stoke the relationship. And it's like, bro, you got to stop that. And they're like, he's like, I got the yearly bundle. So
I got the year-long subscription at a discount. And he's like, how much did you pay? He's like, $800.
All right. But then, yeah, it's
and he's like but it's like, I got it 30% off for the year, $800. And Robert's like, that's not a good deal.
Right. But no, then like for that shift, same thing where it's like full stats, awesome. Oh, surprise, the depression debuff happens if I fail something. Mm-hmm. And to find out at the most high stakes like shift, it's like oh man. I made him do the coffee run.
What?
Of course.
Yeah, because I'm like, you are still going through it. Everything else is on fire. I need you to just like, I want to give you this softball before I try to send you into anything else.
Did you both do the coffee run?
I did the coffee run, yeah. I sent Invisigal on that, actually.
You can ignore it.
Yeah.
I know you can.
But like, I straight up ignored it, and like, I got the third degree of like, you gotta help all of our subscribers, and it's just like Robert being like, I don't give a shit about the subscribers right now. I give a shit about the city. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's my Robert,
Yeah,
dude.
brother. God.
Look, somebody needed their fucking coffee. At the very least, success, and then 2-second, cooldown, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is on Maverick. I don't know if you were there or not for me streaming that. It is on recording of me getting like you could tell how mad I got when that job came.
You got pissed off seeing that. Like I saw the VOD.
I was pissed because I was like, are you telling me there's people during all of this who are still oblivious, being like, hey, I need you to come get me a super like fucked up coffee order that's really complicated? And I think wasn't my response was like, fuck you and your coffee or some shit. I was so fucking mad, dude. It was infuriating.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I was definitely in the mode of just like prioritizing the most dangerous stuff first, but I was literally at a moment where I have Invisigal available. Everything else is being taken care of. This thing is open. I might as well just fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also, she's the fastest, and she can get it done the best. So
yeah,
it's like, all right, whatever.
I was playing from a bit of like, I got my team at like the best possible. Everyone's at full stats. Everyone's like set. Like, I might as well take it if I know that like everyone else can manage for the most part.
That's crazy. I can't believe I somehow got the run where not only did I get Invisigal at the ending, but I also somehow got Blonde Blazer right at the very end. That's crazy.
Apparently I guess there's a stat. I didn't know you could do this, but you can somehow, if you make choices in a certain way, you can end up with both of them, and they're fine with it. That you're both just dating both of them.
Huh?
That's the ending.
I thought it was a lie.
That's the ending of Dodgeball and Underground Story. That's Vince Vaughn.
I'd start a new game right now.
That's Vince
just
Vaughn
like
getting the fucking I'm bisexual like tag. That's crazy.
Yeah. Greedy Robert getting both the love interests.
That's
at the end.
crazy. That's crazy because so many of the options that are like romantic at all are just like, well, do you want to do something with her? Or do you want to do something with her? And it's like, well, I guess I have to pick one.
I think it's in a way where it's like you go on the date with Blonde Blazer, but you don't cut Invisigal and you free her from the lab and stuff like that. So it's like they're both still very much interested in you. What's weird for me is that like, because we didn't do the Blonde Blazer romance stuff, so like we got a lot of like Invisigal context and backstory and whatnot.
Yeah.
So at the end, when she shows up without her powers, I go, "Who the fuck is that character? Who is this?
Exactly.
I don't know who this is."
Exactly.
But and like Maverick having to tell me like, yeah, no, if you go on the Blonde Blazer route, they explain all that shit with her, and I'm like, well, what the fuck, like,
yeah. No, yeah, because she's like,
such
hey,
critical context for that character, regardless.
Like, she's like, I got a secret, I want to share it, and it's like, oh, because then honestly, like that's the other way where it's like, oh, here's another person being propped up by this power that they have that like exists outside of them specifically.
Yeah,
and for her,
it makes a lot of sense.
The back and forth is, hey, do you like me as like Mandy, myself, or do you like me as Blazer? And I was like, no, honestly, I do prefer you as Mandy, because it's like, I'm not really brunettes. Like that's
brunette with abs. Like, yeah, no, I'm in. No, I'm locked. Like, I don't give a shit.
You're just normal. You're gonna be down for like a Hallmark movie, and I'm like, I need that sometimes, But like, it genuinely,
I was gonna say it makes a lot of sense because like, oh, this suddenly like finding out that was the thing at the very end of the game because Chase comes out of nowhere and he has the fucking crystal now. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand what's happening. Thank you, but also like, wow, what a fucking like end game reveal that was. And then just sort of like, and then like in that moment realizing like, oh my god. One of the big reasons she was into me in the first place is because we have this sort of like, we come from this sort of like shared origin of us like not being traditional superhero, like not having powers and like being able to like, oh my god, that's why she feels so resonated. Oh my god. Oh yeah, wow,
both being like the only
that's
people
crazy.
the only people in LA where it's like, no, we actually do have like secret identities.
Right.
Well, not like it fucking matters, because like even regardless of how much you try to hide it, people still figure it out. Like fucking like Royd coming into the bathroom be like, hey brother, you Mecha Man? And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, yes,
don't say that shit out loud.
I mean, the timing on it is pretty obvious, like to anyone who is like paying attention.
Yeah. Like if anybody is like keyed in enough to like current events in that world, it's like, hey, we got a new dispatcher. His name is Robert. What the fuck happened to Mecha Man? He's not around anymore, and we got this new dispatcher? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I'll keep quiet.
You see a guy come in who's the exact height and build as the guy who was just at press conference saying, I'm Mecha Man, I'm not a superhero anymore. It's like, oh, yeah, no, okay. I guess that's pretty obvious to put together.
Also, like, he comes in on his first day wearing the Mecha Man suit.
He does.
So it's like Water Boy walking up to you be like, whoa, you're Mecha, oh my god. And then all of a sudden, like, Mecha Man walked into the building and he never walked out. What happened? What did they do to him?
Where is he?
Where'd he go?
And of course the Z team didn't put together. They're fucking stupid.
No,
that's why we love them.
We love them. They're very self-centered and only care about themselves. And then when you tell them you're Mecha Man, they're like, hey, that's sick. Or,
yo,
okay,
bro.
I don't give a fuck.
Which, of course, I didn't do, obviously. I told them I was Robert.
You were like, I'm Robert Robertson. They're like, that's a stupid name. Nice to meet you, Robert.
Yeah. And then he gave a very impassioned speech about being Robert.
Mind you, Robert Robertson the third.
Exactly.
So, like, legacy hero, legacy name, like, doesn't even have his own name.
I know.
Like, doesn't belong to him.
That's the beauty of it. Like, he doesn't have his own identity. The whole game is finding out what his identity is and who he is as a person. And that's why that moment saying that you're Robert is him affirming it to himself. It's beautiful. Oh,
they wanted to make an X-Men game. They wanted to make an X-Men game. I'm dying on this hill. They wanted to make an X-Men game where the executioner, who has a rifle that uses radiation to lock out and disable mutant abilities. You are probably somebody who got shot with that, and now you have to learn to live your life as a human person still involved in the mutant community. I'm dying on this fucking hill. Fuck off.
Like the idea of being... Sorry, I do just... Because, you know, being, like, mutants, X-Men as being other, like, allegory... I like the idea of somebody that's just like, I got hit with the ally beam.
They turned me into an ally.
They turned me into a fucking ally, bro.
No, it's interesting. We can... A lot of important character development they do show on screen, but also during the dispatch missions, you really need to read what those missions are, and depending on who you send, how it affects certain characters, because like the synergy stuff, I had no idea Punch Up and Coop were so tight until I did the fighting tournament. Because I was like, yeah, a fighting tournament, do we just shut it down or do we fight in it? Well, my personality, got the better of me. I'm like, it's a fighting tournament? Yeah, no, we're going to fight in it. I'm going to send Punch Up. The guy who is invulnerable, and his name is literally fucking Punch Up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I send him, and Coupe enthusiastically going, if he needs support, I can go. And I'm like, that's odd. I've never heard you speak up like that before. Let's send you. And that unlocks the synergy for me. And I go, oh, that's a weird synergy between these two. I never understood that. They never explained that. And then you go and read the comic and find out that she was sent to kill him and can't kill him and is completely fascinated with him over the fact that, like, he can't die.
Right.
And, like, they were romantically involved and he fucked it up because he was scared.
Right.
But now they're rekindling it. And I'm like, damn, that'd be great if it was in the fucking game.
They didn't have time. They didn't know.
Well, like, the development cycle of this game is crazy.
What I appreciate, though, is like, this is Robert's game. This is the game about Robert Robertson. So you have all of these characters that have all of these like interlocking relationships with each other, and you're only viewing them from his perspective. So it's like I like as much as I would have appreciated having that information in the game, it is also fascinating to me how much they leave out, specifically because you're viewing it from such a like you're hardly ever seeing these characters face to face. You're only ever seeing them on a computer screen. And that's your level of attachment to them for the most part.
Like, you got to do the reading. Like, it's a comic book game. You have to do the reading.
You have to do the reading.
Like, not even like the deluxe edition comic books. I'm just like, because certain missions, like, there is like set missions where a certain hero needs to go in order for it to like completely 100% success and whatnot. But even if you send somebody who doesn't make sense, there is still character development. There's still character growth. Like, especially with like, if you take out the red ring super aggressively, you are now on the red ring's radar. Like, it makes it harder. Like, the sonar fights are a little bit harder because if earlier in the game you were trying to stomp them out, they're pissed. Or like the delivery drones, if you don't take out the delivery drones, they show up again at the end of the game, and now you have little additional jobs that are distracting you from fighting the big bad at the end because they took over the delivery drones. That's or like crazy. The VIP guy that's constantly like, I need security, I need someone at my building, I need help, like the top subscriber to SDN. If you don't protect him, the Elon Musk guy, if you don't protect him, they steal his tech and they make fighting at the end of the game that much fucking harder. So it's like all these little things that build up into it, and it's just
so when I had that the very first one of those missions that I had for him, like Sonar was like, oh, fuck, can I go I want to meet Elon Musk so bad. And I'm like, all right, buddy, go do it. And he failed it catastrophically badly. So it's like my entire relationship with that guy going forward got fucked specifically because of Sonar. So that felt like another really, like, you know, like in the middle of storytelling, like, you know, I didn't actively make the choice to cut him, but it's like, oh yeah, this, like, if I'm Robert and I'm justifying the reasons for why this would have happened, that seems like another really good one.
Yeah, like, you ruined our relationship with a really high value like person that we insure. And now they're probably like teetering on like, do I really need this service? And if we lose this guy, we probably lose most of our funding. So fuck you, Sonar.
We still got missions from him, but you know, that's just the way the game goes.
Yeah, that's just the way the game goes. I didn't send Sonar to go meet him because at the time Sonar was transformed. So I was like, there's no fucking way I'm sending you.
Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
Like, I don't trust you to do that. And he gets pissed off at me, and he like gets a debuff. He's like, man, fuck you. Like, come on, man. Dude, I really wanted this. Dude, come on, man. I really wanted this. I really wanted to go meet him.
I still wonder what that whole end sequence, because I think, like, again, we were talking about it a little bit before recording, but like the end sequence of the game being like whoever you cut from the team is basically second in command now for the Red Ring and Shroud's whole like operation. It's like
they ostensibly become the final boss.
Yeah, and for a character like Sonar, who is so braggadocious, who is so like, I don't know, but is a guy that loves to be a dickhead and like brag himself up, it makes sense for him to have this like,
it feels really
presence
natural.
And like it makes those sequences all the more fun when it's like, ah, shit, you know, here's what we've been built. The entire time that he was there, I was sending Malevola and whoever I could like pair up with her. I think I did a lot of Malevola and Waterboy, honestly, because it's like, yeah, no, they've been doing fine without you. In fact, here's the person who's doing well and your replacement. Go sit with that.
And they synergize.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. Like, at that point, I'm like, you're guaranteeing my success whenever I let you go. So like, fucking, I'll bite the bullet if I need to. I don't know how that even looks like if you have Coop out from the team, because it's like, that doesn't read right to me.
I mean, it's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been an entirely different set of interactions.
She also, like, to me, it makes more sense to cut Sonar because Coop makes her case of, like, I kind of need this job. Like, I'm serious about doing this because I can't go back to what I was doing. I legally cannot go back. Otherwise, I will serve prison time. This is why I'm here. I can't go back to being a hired assassin.
Yeah. And comparatively, Sonar's just kind of a dickhead who's also fundamentally in the gameplay of the game unreliable. Yeah. Unless you learn to work around his power.
Which, like, I was learning to do it, and it made sense, where it was like, yeah, at second shift when he transforms, he's no longer my fucking charismatic character. He's my bruiser.
Which is crazy, because also, from the start, he's the only charisma, like, intellect character.
Yeah.
So from there, you need to learn, okay, I need to build the rest of my characters accordingly in order to make this more effective.
I haven't checked, but, like, I figure one of the later game upgrades he gets is, transform at will. Like, send me in for this job, and either I'll do bat form or I'll do human form, like half bat form.
Probably. I mean, well, I guess we'll find out in okay, so let me ask, did you welcome him back on the team at the end of the game?
Yeah. I felt, I didn't feel bad. I felt like you really didn't have any, I did wrong by you. Like, it was a bad situation and I didn't give you any other choice. So you did what you had to do, and it's my job to help you. Like, you're just going to end up back in prison or escape and go do the same shit with the same animosity towards everybody. And I don't want that. Like,
right.
I worked with you before you did this. I see the potential in what you can do for people. So I feel like it's on me to give you a second chance so that way you can help everybody. Because, like, if I didn't kick you off the team, we would be dealing with the world fucking dangerous assassin, and I'd rather not deal with her. I'd rather have her on my side, and you are just a fucking, like, tech bro who really likes drugs and can transform into a giant bat. I can help you.
Again, after fundamentally, like, losing the big one and fumbling that, definitely, like, I'm gonna need as much help as I can get. Like, Sonar, if you're, like, sorry about having to make an example, but, like, whatever 2 is going to look like and however I'm going to have to deal with that, would rather have you in good standing than another, like, thorn to pay attention to.
I'm kind of expecting, like, whatever comes after this just to be like, okay, this is just a brand new team of people. It's like, oh, yeah, that would be cool. That would be fun to work around.
It could do that, or, like, if an anthology could be interesting where, like, season 1 of Dispatch is Robert's story, and then season 2 I feel like would be really, really cool if you are one of the new villains in a new set of the Phoenix program, and you're trying to determine whether or not you want to become a hero or a villain based on, like, the past interactions they give you, where it's like, we can give you another legacy character, but their legacy isn't a hero. Their legacy is a villain. So do you want to follow in the footsteps of, like, one of the greatest villains, or, like, one of these really well-known villains in LA, or do you want to redeem yourself and prove that, like, I am more than what my legacy is? I don't know. It's the development of this game is so weird just because, like, it took them so long to kind of come to the decision of what they wanted this game to be, especially after, like, the funding being pulled, and then them having, like, Critical Role step in and be like, hey, we really like this project, we really want to help out, and then it going from an FMV kind of, like, story game to the Dispatch minigame getting added in, and them having to rework everything into, like, this animated thing. And, like, personally, I feel like it being animated works way better than if it was, like, an FMV game.
Apparently, like, this is the entire thing is just video files. Like, there's no 3D models in the game itself, which is crazy. So it is still technically an FMV game.
Technically. But, like, I don't know. I don't think they need to do a second season because
probably not.
It works the way it does, but because it's so popular that I'm sure, like, they blew their expectations out of the water. Like, this game has sold over 2 million copies.
here's the thing. For as much superhero fatigue as there is, superhero media still like does gangbusters. And it's like people are interested in it being explored in new ways. And whether that's something like the Superman movie, the most recent one, where it's sort of like a return to form of like the weird aspects of Superman while still being not this like full on treatise about like whether or not Superman is like a god on Earth, or like, you know, people are sort of tired of The Boys, but The Boys examines superheroes through the lens of like state violence, and it's like, and obviously those last few seasons fucking suck. But here's hoping the last one isn't that bad. Fingers crossed.
It's the final season they fucking got.
Yeah, no, they said it would be the last one. But man, it sucks. Not to get down too much of a tangent, but it's like, man, those first 2 seasons of The Boys are like some of the best TV that's ever been made. It's like it's so good. It's so thoughtful. It's so like the fact that it's like a superhero show is hardly what's interesting about it, or like whatever, or whatever people think the takeaway of The Boys is that like, oh man, Superman is actually, what if he was evil and a Nazi? It's like, well, yeah, it's like that's obviously what they're trying to do with this character, but that's not like that's not what the entire show is about. The entire show is about like, you know, finding a family. I can't talk about it. About it.
That's a different podcast episode.
That's a different podcast. Well, either way, like I do think this game, I mentioned it at the top, but it's like I do think this game sort of touches on the idea of like, what does it mean to be superhero for hire? You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of obvious explanations of like, obviously superheroes are going to go out and help in an emergency because, you know, it's probably state funded in that regard. Or it's like, if like they're going to respond to their subscribers because the subscribers are what matters most. And it's like, it feels like this game. Sorry, my cat has gotten much louder now.
They want attention, dude.
She really wants attention.
They're like, I know you're talking about beef.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
No, do you gotta do. I'm curious, Maverick. At the end of the game, what was your Robert's title? Like, what did they say your Robert was?
True hero.
Okay, I also got true hero. Personally, I don't see a playthrough of that game where I don't play Robert like a true hero.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me to have Robert be like the anti-hero, like aggressive, angry Mecha Man, because of like, I know I just said like, hey, a season 2 would be interesting if you play as a villain and defy your legacy, where I'm like, but Robert's not that guy to defy the legacy of Mecha Man. Like,
no,
it's
for
too
sure.
important to him.
And it's like yeah. Mm-hmm. I was just gonna say that, like, you know, the whole purpose of him being the third Mecha Man, you know, coming as a result of death in the family, having to pick up that mantle, it definitely lends to a reading where, like, this is a guy who, regardless of the circumstance and, you know, that self-imposed darkness and spiral, does a pretty good job of keeping things to himself, or trying to still show up in a positive way.
Yeah. And it's like, it's brushed upon as well, where it's like, Robert does not handle trauma well. When his father died, he kind of cut everybody out of his life and went on to like do hardcore like Mecha Man. He went on to being Mecha Man so intensely that he lives in a studio apartment with his only piece of furniture being the Mecha Man suit that he sleeps on. And he has beef. Beef.
Ideal male living space, honestly.
Yeah,
like, ideal male living space, studio apartment with a giant mech suit.
This is a guy that, like, I know to the core of it wants to do good, but when that comes back to, like, how do you do good for yourself? Zero idea of how to do it, because for him, that's not in his definition of like, you know, doing well, or like my results are specifically around other people. And so it was interesting to still get the choice, like the outcome where like Invisigal is a villain, where it's like you did the best you could. This just was not the thing that could have worked out, and like that was, I don't know, if I had any ideas of a season 2, it would be something relating to this, where it's just
obviously,
like, you know, just, hey, you did good with everybody else, but here's this core thing that just did not work out, and how do we like recover from that? Or I don't know, I still just like the idea that, like, cool, you did what you could to like protect the local area of Torrance. Now that your team is getting notoriety, what does that mean on a bigger scale? What does that mean to like have to still, like, you got to the baseline, how do you keep consistent now? And that would be an interesting route to like lean into if we still wanted to focus on this team at all.
I can picture. I'm the animatic in my head's going crazy. No, I can picture it now. Yeah, like after defending Torrance and whatnot, you now have like the U.S. government stepping in, talking to SDN, being like, "Hey, you guys did a great job. Can you expand your operations to like, you are now like, you not just like the state of California, you are now protecting the entire United States of America."
Yeah, like what's SDN New York look like?
Yeah.
That's where we get our Spider-Man, obviously.
Yeah, that's where we get Agent Spider or some shit. It's just like you're now in like a new central hub that isn't based out of LA. You're now like probably in fucking like San Francisco or somewhere where it's easier to kind of like send heroes off or whatever. And it's just like a grander scale. And you now have all this pressure of like the media. You now have like a new mechanic where it's like, okay, you now have media attention. And if you fuck up a mission, the media, like you get negative media response and it kills morale, or people are less likely to want these people around when you send them to do a mission. Where it's like, yeah, we sent Flambe over to fucking Texas to put out a fire. He burnt down the restaurant entirely, but the fire was still put out. And then you send Flambe back out, and everyone's like, this guy's going to destroy my business if he's here. This guy's going to hurt me, even though he's trying to help. Like, shit like that, I feel like could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see what an actual, like, what an actual extension of this, like, even looks like.
Because they sure as hell don't know yet.
Right. Yeah, for fucking sure. I was trying to get into earlier, like, and I touched upon it at the beginning of the show, but like there's like there's an obvious satire of understanding that the idea of superheroes for hire is it like fundamentally flawed in a lot of ways, but also there's stuff to consider, like, you know, if there's a major emergency happening, like how is that covered? Like obviously the city would probably fund that, you know, stuff like that. But also it is going off of this, like, it is also going off of this idea that like heroes as they exist to be heroic, regardless of the nature of their quote unquote job. Whereas villains exist to be villainous. And I wonder, I really wish the game sort of took more of an approach to trying to interrogate that, because like what was Shroud's reasoning for betraying his team, right? Was that something that was investigated in the comics?
They mention it in the game where it is heavily implied that Robert's dad did not make the astral pulse, that Shroud made it.
Yes, that's right.
And that he took it and became like Mecha Man, like a new Mecha Man with it, like a Mecha Man that is more efficient, more powerful because of the astral pulse. And when Shroud was like, yeah, we were supposed to be like this like mechanical duo, but your dad went and ran with it and never promised me, like never fulfilled his promise of like helping me out, and your dad got the limelight and stuff. Like it was all just like jealousy and petty rage and whatnot of just like, I made this thing, I made you, how dare you? And like killed his dad.
It's so strange. Like I wish there was like a better interrogation of that stuff, you know? Because I do like I find Shroud just from like a like villain, just from like a villain with a set of powers, or like a villain as a reflection of Robert compelling, because he too isn't necessarily powerful, but his like his entire thing is he sees and understands all like possibilities of things. That's his motif. And like part of that is like that he's not necessarily super powered. It's all like a lot of it is based off like the machines that he built. And there's a reflection of that in Mecha Man, in the sense of like, you know, obviously Robert isn't this, like obviously Robert is just a normal person, but it's the suit that makes him an actual superhero. Well, I guess that's sort of like the interrogation of what it means to be a hero. But it's like that it's the suit is part of his like superhero identity, and he wouldn't exist without it in that same way. But like I wonder if there's like I wonder if it could have if the game could have taken more consideration into that. You know what I mean? Because what it like, at no point do I ever feel like it interrogates what does it mean to have supervillains in the first place, other than they're what superheroes fight, you know? Like, what does it mean to have, like, the state of LA being so crime-riddled that it requires a gigantic superhero, like, crime-fighting division? And these are the sort of things that this game doesn't interrogate, and I like, man, it's like, I think if we're seeing more of this in the future, that's what I would like to see more of. I would like to see, like you were saying, like I would like to see this at least from like a supervillain's perspective of like, yeah, like a lot of the ones in your team are like, well, we're sort of victims of circumstance. You know what I mean? That's basically what happens with Invisigal. Is like, she's a victim of circumstance. She didn't really have an opportunity at life beyond like being a petty criminal. And also like she says it herself, her superpower is not one that heroes have. It's one that villains have, leading to this intrinsic belief that villains and heroes are sort of like codified in this society in this way. And I don't know, I just want to see more exploration of that. I want to see more interrogation of that. I understand why they didn't do it in this game, because they're just trying to make their superhero dispatch game where, you know, where, you know, like you have your ragtag group of misfits who are, you know, just trying to get off the streets or just trying to do something different than doing crime. And there's part of me really wishes that's what the game was more about instead of Robert's love life.
Right.
Yeah. I will point out that these writers are writers who have worked with existing established worlds and IP. Mm-hmm. So like they already were working with Batman and Walking Dead and fables of like Wolf Among Us and stuff. So it's like those questions were already answered for them, and they needed to work around them. I hate to say it, those comics you get in the deluxe editions answers some of those questions you have.
Fuck!
So, like, I'm sitting here rocking back and forth like, yep, nope, that's great. I'm glad you're so invested and interested in asking this stuff. Go read those comics.
Shit!
Don't worry. Don't worry. There's a YouTube video.
There's a YouTube video where it goes through all the comics. Okay. You don't have to buy the deluxe edition. But, like,
Yeah, but I don't know.
Give a little walking around money.
If I do, I might do it if I do another dispatch playthrough just to like see the other options.
Yeah, that's fair.
I get what you mean about this
because I gotta get the polyamory ending.
Oh right, of course,
of course,
quote unquote. But no, like
Robert.
Yeah, I get those like challenges with what this game sits on. Because of the fact that this got released on a Keeley adjacent piece of media, I didn't really hold my breath on what this game was going to focus on. Like, I am pleasantly surprised that it was a very fun character story, but also, like that is stuff I think a lot about in terms of just, you have this public service of literally people that are beyond the capability of the average person, but are still being tied down by the systems intrinsic to any other regular person. How does that work and how does that balance out?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun idea to play with, and I think is really important to interrogate if you do more of this and are trying to do it in a way that goes beyond just we just have good guys and we just have bad guys, which, I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm not averse to the idea of just setting that
up. Of course.
I was at a fucking Ultraman thing.
But even so, I like to know Swerve Strickland's motivation.
Right, of course. And again, it's like that thing where it's you have the characters that are very much the outspoken heroes, but then you also know everyone wants to go take photos with the cool monsters. Mm-hmm. Even if we use them for narrative purpose to be the villainous entity. I don't know, I would be curious to see what it looks like to really delve into this more, especially if it's what is it? All of the opportunities where it's we got to save the governor or whatever, and everyone immediately is man, I don't know if I want to do this for Gavin. I don't know if I'm writing this hard for Gavin.
I ain't rocking with Newsom. You might want to send Waterboy on that one, and Waterboy's just I'll do it.
Right, versus the nondescript governor of California.
I'll do whatever you want, Robert.
Robert, why are you in these files, Robert?
Oh my god!
Why is your dad in here?
I have two. I have two final, I guess, points before we wrap it up. Let's go with the simpler one first. What's the least popular choice that you have? Looking through your choices, what's the one that got the lowest percent of people?
My joke answer is helping Blazer fix her dress. When I saw that, I got mad because I was there's no, why? Come on, human decency, play the character.
Of course I'm going to tell her, Of course I'm going to tell her fucking nipple is showing.
Her areola is showing. You fucking, girl, fix that. You're going to be at a public event. I think...
just looking through them? What's the lowest percent?
I gotta look. I gotta pull it up. I'm scared it's gonna kill my recording, but I'm gonna pull it up.
Mine was 18% of players told you told 18. You and 18% of players told the Z team you were just Robert. That's the one for me. But also I had another one that was also pretty low. You and 30% of players were ready to send the Z team to retrieve the Astral Pulse. I was ready, bro. I was I got my team here. They're right. I'm on board with Invisigal. She's right. It could be fucking gone by tomorrow. This is my one shot. We gotta take it. And it's and Blazer's just no, we gotta do it properly and by the book. And it's I'm not proper and by the book, babe. I'm ready to go and grab this shit. And then of course that all fell apart. And then Invisigal went and did it by herself. And then that's where all the problems started to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing right now. So far it's Me and 30% of players sent Punch Up and Coop to compete in the fighting tournament together. Like that.
Yeah, I didn't do that either. I just broke up the tournament.
Yeah, I messed that up and did not send them in proper.
That's crazy.
I'm looking through. What else we got on here?
You and 23% of players said you're burnt shit. To the entire team. I don't remember what the options were. The ones where it's like you have multiple options and what you have to say, those obviously have low percents, but it's like, I don't know. The other ones in that one didn't really feel, I don't remember what they were, but I remember at the time thinking like, these don't really feel like something Robert would say in this moment.
I picked you set this team on fire, which is also a 13% choice, because it's like using the Phoenix metaphor, like a lot of them like kind of perked up in their chairs like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, you people are fucking stupid. Like some of the shit I tell you people, you go with it, and I'm like, man, come on. Like
they are, that's what I love about the team. They're so fucking dumb. I love how stupid they are.
My strongest hero was Coop. Like
mine
overall.
was Prism.
I think mine was also Prism. I'm not at my main computer right now, so like I do not have access.
Oh no, my strongest
That's
hero was
fair.
also Coop. My most successful hero is Prism.
Because she's awesome.
She's so useful.
She's so useful. They're badasses. Like, whatever, man.
I also got a lot of play out of Golem too. Golem became a real ringer, especially during the last one.
He came through,
Yeah,
by
especially
the end for me,
Yeah, especially picking the ability that lets him like fill empty slots.
Yes, that one was really good. He's
my solo hero. I can reliably send him on any mission, and I know he'll get it done. Or like with Coop, I pick Pirouette, where it's like if a mission fucks up, she's on. You can re-roll, and always when I re-roll, she gets it done. I'm like, yup, that's what I needed.
Mav, what was your least popular choice? Or do you not know? Do you not have the game in front of you?
I'm trying to remember what would have been the least popular. I guess, like, in general, being in the lower percentage of people that went for Blonde Blazer.
Yeah.
I think overall...
Because like, falling for Invisigal was like, well, okay, hold on. Let me see. It was... 70% supported Invisigal. 59% of players fell for Invisigal. That's crazy. Also, this is a weird one. I spared Shroud at the end. Because it's like, he's a fucking hero. Like, what do you mean? I remember role-playing the choices being like, yeah, I'm going to kill this guy. Yeah, I'm going to kill this guy. Of course I'm going to kill this guy. So that's what he would say. But it's like, as soon as he's like in that moment of heroism, it's like, what is killing him? Like, he's already been defeated. What is killing him accomplish other than just like petty vengeance?
Right.
Like, that's not what being a hero is.
Fair.
So, but apparently, 63% of people didn't see it that way.
No, because like in my playthrough, I was like, I'm not gonna kill him. That's not what a hero does. Like, I don't kill people, and like I'm also trying to set an example for the team of like, we don't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely cannot take another person's life. We are not judge, jury, and executioner. We're here to resolve and make sure like justice is served. We're not being that guy. However, if I was playing as me, yeah, no, I'm fucking killing Shroud. Like, are you kidding me?
Of course. This guy's a fucking monster. Like, of course you're gonna kill this guy.
Like, look what he did. Like, he mutilates people, and like fucking like Invisigal is showing off her tech to you, being like, yeah, I stopped working for Shroud, and this thing stopped working, and I can barely hold my breath and use my power now. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's how bad it is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. 35% had dinner with I'm the 35% that had dinner with Blonde Blazer.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
I was looking at them, and of course, I'm in the 90% of people who did not go, who did not say they wanted to join the date with Phenomenon and Phenomenon and Blazer, and it's like, yeah, of course you're not gonna do it. She's like sitting there behind him, going, "No, don't do it.
Don't fucking do this.
Don't fucking do it."
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna make that option no matter what, because it's like it seems really it seems like you have to be a real fucking like asshole to do that. But also in my head I'm like, I really wanted to see that scene. I really want to see that scene, brother. Like there's a very valid way to play these games, which is like I just want to cause as much drama as possible.
I think
and also
I feel like what would have played out is that you still don't go. He'll probably be like, I am sorry, but I only have space for one person. If you would like to join us on your private jet or whatever.
Right. Who knows? I guess
again,
only the 10% of people who didn't know.
One of the comics is literally about like, hey, so what happened at the restaurant?
That's so funny.
It's the whole breakup.
And the last thing I want to posit to y'all is any final thoughts? Anything you didn't get a chance to talk about yet? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I mean, I brushed on it where I'm like, people went in with expectations where I'm like, if you are listening to this now and you have spoiled yourself and you still haven't played the game, I still say like, go play the game because you can make your own choices and you can experience this game for yourself and you can recognize exactly what we're talking about, because I feel like if you're listening to this and you haven't played the game and you're hearing this for the first time, it doesn't have as much of an impact because like a lot of those choices in the game, because it is a Telltale adjacent pick your own adventure game, some of those choices hit. Like they hit you hard in the chest. Like even the opening to some of those episodes kick you in the chest really hard and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have made that decision. Maybe I should. Oh, what? It's too late now though. I'm on this path. I can't restart. So it's just like, play this game. It's a good game.
It's a good game. Anything you feel like you haven't had a chance to speak about yet, Maverick, that you've been burning up with?
No, I mean, likewise, I am somebody that is so far removed from Cape stuff. Like, not in a disparaging way. It truly has just never really been my bag. And so, really delighted to see, like, you know, my enjoyment of the game, how things, like, turned out. And, like I mentioned before, this whole year has been a shit show when it's come to, like, how much time I've been able to set aside to actually engage with the hobby of playing video games to the point where, like, you know, it also impacts my ability to then think critically about games and to still challenge myself to be in a headspace of, like, yeah, let me, like, give some thought to this thing that has, like, comfortably slotted itself in my life for, you know, the last 25 years. All that to say that having something that was episodic, that was, you know, able to be chunked up in a way that didn't feel too intrusive and, like, helped to really motivate me to still show up was super, like, helpful in that. And to be as affected as I was, you know, totally surprised at how much I cared to, like, really put time in for this game. The ending of episode 6 was definitely something where it's like you know, getting everything set up for the conclusion, I, like, audibly gasped when I'm just like, oh shit.
Right.
And part of
I played it when all the episodes were out, so it was like I could just go from the next one to the next one, but it's like, man, if you had to watch the ending of that and wait for the next one, it's like, fuck, that would have really sat with you.
Yeah, imagine. Fucking I was approached. Like AdHoc approached me and was like, "Do you want to play this?" And me, like, growing up with comic books, like, comics were my first introduction to any sort of, like, multi-fandom media thing. So, like, I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board. And then they gave me the embargo list of, like, here's when you can and can't play these episodes. And I'm like, yeah, that's not too bad. So, like, my first session, I only played episode 1 through 4, and I was pissed. Because it was just like, I have to wait. I have to fucking wait, dude. It's not fair. But, like, thank you, AdHoc. I appreciate your trust in me to play this and then critically analyze it, et cetera, et cetera.
God, what an extremely solid game. I'm trying to think if there's, like, anything left over that I didn't get to touch on before we wrap it up here.
I like the soundtrack. The
soundtrack's great.
That's the other thing. Soundtrack really fun. Like, good use of, like, tracks Prism, voiced by Thought Squad. Her song is in there, and it's a fucking banger. And then, you know, surprised of all things, it fits in the game, but it's like the fucking Bad Not Good remix of what is it, Seasons by Future Islands was phenomenal. I was like, oh shit, this is a thing that's existed for like, you know, the last decade that I just didn't know about. So thanks for the backdoor reminder about this, AdHoc.
I remembered a question that I had, which is, did y'all play with the QuickTime events on?
Yes.
No.
Okay, I played with the QuickTime events on. They mostly felt very superfluous, with the first episode and the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
But the one where it really hits is in episode 5, where it's cutting between like the bar fight and like the hanging out and eating tacos.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
They do this really awesome thing where it's like Robert's about to take a crunch out of a taco or something, and then it cuts to like him fucking stabbing someone and like with a knife, and that's done with a QTE, and it's like all of those felt awesome. Like every single one of them, like they really managed to make those feel really, really good. But it's just like when they're just in the middle of the fight scenes, like within the first and last episode, they just felt very like it kind of felt like you were just kind of pressing buttons.
Yeah, like Saturday morning cartoon, like fucking just where we're all fighting the big bad guy. Mm-hmm. And again, more evidence of me saying this is a fucking X-Men game. This is a game meant to be the X-Men.
It's also this thing where it's like, I don't know if failing this actually accomplishes anything. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's literally just for whether or not I have a stat at the end that says, oh, you did these QTEs better than, let's see, my success rate in the fight with Toxic was 94%. You performed better than 40% of players. I literally just dropped like one action and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like, cool. But it would have gone the same way.
Yeah, like I guess I felt involved in the fight instead of just sitting there watching it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you gave me the crosswalk button where like it doesn't do anything, but I feel like I did something.
Right. If a game gives me the option to play more of it, I'm gonna do it. Even if I know in my heart of hearts this is probably not the best way to experience the game.
Exactly.
I didn't feel anything to omit. Like you could tell the moments where it's like, all right, we're pausing a little bit because you wanted me to do a QTE here, but I didn't. But like, I like the implementation in Chapter 5 because it's like, honestly, I would like more quick time events that felt like that, where it's like, oh, you know,
that's how they were in older Telltale games. It's like if you fail something during this like quick time event, something's gonna happen.
Oh no, like
whereas like,
or more specifically, we want to have this be there as like a fun like piece of the presentation overall, you know. Right. Again, it's like, oh, click now to open up your ketchup, and then smash cut to breaking a guy's arm.
Exactly.
That's super fun. I have a couple of questions. How did we feel about the content creator voice acting in this game?
I thought it was largely inobtrusive. Like it was very like obviously critical out of all of them is the most noticeable.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's hard for me to really care that much about it. It's funny when I'm like looking at the names of like because I think obviously the cast is is a very like publicized aspect of it, like Aaron Paul being the lead voice actor, and Aaron Paul having the like unenviable task of having to voice not only like consistently voice this character, but voice them across 8 episodes, and also not make his lines feel like stilted or incorrect. Like I remember seeing a news article that said it took him like 2 years to record his lines because he'd never done voice acting before. And it's like, I thought he did a good job, but also, yeah, that probably took him a long time to like even get into the headspace of how do I do this when I've never done this before.
Yeah, and like if I remember correctly, he was also recording his lines for Invincible at the same time. So it's like two drastically different characters.
Way different characters. Like the incredibly calm and cool like Robert, who's obviously depressed, between this character that's incredibly maximalist the entire time.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Fucking like, I want to kill this superhero because they killed my wife's sister,
right?
And shit like that. Where it's just like, I don't know. I didn't think it was intrusive, and like obviously we cut Sonar, so it's like I barely got any screen time with Critical, but like I think that fucking like Jacksepticeye and Alana Pierce kind of fucking killed it. To be quite honest,
they did really, really good. Like I hardly even know. Like, isn't Jacksepticeye actually a voice actor?
He's done roles before and stuff, and like Alana's been in the industry long enough and like has talked to seasoned voice actors, so like I'm sure they've had like coaching and stuff on like how to be successful, and it shows because this performance as Malevola and like Sean's performance as Punch Up, I'm like, these are great. Like these characters speak in a way that feels natural to them and doesn't impede on the interactions with everybody else.
I'll say with regards to Malevola, I really feel like I didn't get a lot of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't. Like obviously you have a distanced approach to all of the characters on the team. That's sort of the intended way like you're interacting with them. But it's like I felt like I at least had an arc with Golem in this. You know what I mean? I had an arc with Phenomenon. I had an arc with Prism. You know, and Malevola. The biggest of it was like, she got mad when Sonar was gone, and then by the next episode, she was cool again.
Well,
I really didn't get much of her character. Obviously, I need to read the comics.
Yeah, but like you cut Sonar, and she's pissed, and like she doesn't listen to you and stuff like that. So that really does lock you out from her interactions with her. But it's interesting how like the house party with her, she kind of like 180s on you and is kind of like into Robert in a weird way, be like, oh, you're cute, hey, what's up? It's just like, this man is greedy, and I fucking hate it. It's not fair.
It kind of isn't. No. If only we could all be so lucky. Anyways,
my last question is, out of the Z team, who was like your favorite, like standout?
Bit of a tough call. I would probably say Golem. I don't know who Young Gravy is, and when I look at his Wikipedia page, I am disgusted.
You can't be saying that like the 28-year-old that you are.
So of course, yeah, 100%. Obviously, yeah. Inspired by the rise of such rappers as Lil Yachty and Lil Peep, he started his music career on SoundCloud. Okay, cool. That's awesome, man.
He's a young rapper who likes to have sex with MILFs. That's his whole bit.
Hey.
Like, don't we all?
Yo. Hey. I'm on board, brother. It's like, it's funny because it's like, you can tell a lot of, it's cool because a lot of the characters that are supposed to be older are played by a lot more seasoned actors and actresses, while like the Z Team characters are played mostly by younger voice actors or like influencers, people who've never done this before. You know, which is why the inclusion of someone like Young Gravy is so interesting to me. But it's like I like, you listen to his performance. He's only getting like low and gravelly with you, but at the same time, like every single time he says something, he's showing a lot of character with it. Yeah, and it's like, and some of it is like, how much of it is this actor like improving for the sake of improving? Like you know, when he says some contemporary ass like when he says some like shit ass meme or whatever, it's like, is that the intention of the character, or is that something Young Gravy did specifically that they kept in? Doesn't matter to me. I think it still paints Golem in such an interesting light. He was definitely like a standout to me character wise when it came to the team.
It feels like, I make this very weird comparison. have you either of you seen the movie like Intergalactic, like the animated like Kid Cudi like music video type film? It's really good. It's a really good, interesting, just like film. In that movie, there's a character who is very outlandish and weird, and I watch it. I'm like, I really like this character, and I looked up who voiced him, and it's Macaulay Culkin, and I'm like, there's no way this is Macaulay Culkin. That is the same way I feel about Young Gravy and Dispatch, where I'm like, I really like this character and their delivery and how they say things. Who voices him? You're fucking telling me Young Gravy? It's Young Gravy, the guy who constantly talks about like having sex with your mom?
Uh-huh.
Okay, fuck it.
Dispatch 2 is going to have baby
he had a character, he had an idea for his character, and he owned it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and like Maverick just said, Baby No Money season 2.
And everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I think this game is great, but I don't know, something about this character just sucks ass to me. I don't know what.
AdHoc, if you're listening, I have a demo reel. I'm available for auditions. Let me know. I'm down. I'm young blood. Let me in. I'm ready to do it.
AdHoc,
I know Aaron Paul is on the fence of voicing Robert again. I could do it. I promise you.
Get me on X Team. Get me on X Team.
I can do it.
If you were listening to this podcast, any AdHoc representatives are like, wait, how the fuck did they get Aaron Paul on the fucking call? Hey, guess what?
I'm just like that. I just talk like that. That's just who I am. I wasn't going to talk about it. Why, Maverick, you and other people keep saying I'm Robert. Why?
Bro looks like you. They could have made him a little bit like to use the phrasing of a student of mine who I just met like 2 weeks ago. If they made Robert a little bit more like halal brown, like it would be immediately noticeable.
I can't escape. I can't escape the typecasting as Robert. I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. If Aaron Paul's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it for season 2, I will take less money and I will do a fucking like
You'll take less money than Eric Paul? Really? That's crazy.
I will take less money than Aaron Paul to do a voice mimicry of how he voiced Robert in the first season. I'll do it. I don't mind. I'm right here.
Well, Mr. Paul, it was a real pleasure having you on the podcast.
Watch Pluribus. I'm not in that one. Watch it.
It's hey, you should watch. Yeah, you should. Anyways, if you could, Mr. Paul, if you could give us everyone's favorite line from Breaking Bad, they've all been waiting to hear.
Bitch.